Hi, I think we're live. Hi, it's Sarah. I was just about to make my refill of my homemade deodorant, and I thought, hey, this would be a really good idea to show you. It's one of the recipes on my blog, and why not show you while I make it? But I'll give you a chance to come on in and grab your drink, and I've kind of got to hurry because my kids are going to be home any minute. And I know they're going to be like, what is mom doing in the kitchen with bright lights on her? Okay, so a little bit of backstory. I used to use regular store-bought deodorant, like like the name brand stuff, for years until 2010. And in 2010, I read an article about aluminum in deodorant and how it's not good, how we shouldn't do it, but and I know that there's not a lot of proof around that, but for me, all it takes is for me to read an article where there's a question that aluminum might be bad to put in your deodorant and under your arms and near your breast tissue. So that's what led me to look for my own homemade kind of deodorant instead of the store-bought stuff. So I found one, I made it, and it was horrible. It was horrible stuff. I'm telling you, it didn't work. So I chucked the whole thing, and I thought, this is a waste. I'm just going to have to use aluminum deodorant. So one of my friends told me, try this one. So I tried it, and I liked it, but I needed to tweak it a little bit. So I did, and this is what I came up with. Let's see, I'll show you. It is a coconut oil base, which is why I believe it works so well. Let me see if you can see this. So I flipped this around so you can see the words, but the problem is it's all backwards to me. So I'm like, left, right, I don't know. Okay, this, I use coconut oil all the time. I cook with it, I bake with it, I use it in my deodorant, so I like to buy it in bulk. There's a problem with that. Sometimes you buy it in bulk and you forget, and it sits in the back of your pantry because you have more that you're using. So this one I found in the back of my pantry, and I thought, oh, I'll use this for deodorant. Problem happened when I opened it and smelled it. It's rancid. So I have to chuck it. It's over. You can tell when you smell an oil and it's gone rancid, it's done. But that's more of a problem with these kinds of oils that are, I get them less processed. It's cold pressed, they don't use heat to process it, and it's organic, so it's gonna go rancid a little bit quicker. This one I've probably had in my pantry for about, I don't know, I'm guessing maybe a year or two. And it says it's best by September 2017, and they are not kidding. September happened, and it turned. So that one's gone. I feel so terrible. I have to throw that away. But I do have a fresh new one. This is also organic. I got this at BJ's, and if you buy in bulk, you're going to be able to, of course, save. And let's see, this is also the cold pressed. So it's just 3 ingredients. It's a coconut oil base, and then you can add whatever kind of essential oils you like in there. So a little bit of backstory too. The reason why I'm kind of funny about my deodorant being all natural and no aluminum, when I was a teenager, my mom actually developed breast cancer and she passed away, and she was only 38. So I'm really cautious about what's going into my deodorant and what's going under my arms and what's staying on my skin like that for a long time. And I'm telling you, this recipe, I didn't have a lot of hope for it. It's amazing. I've been using it since 2010, and 7 years later, I haven't looked back. It's great stuff. Okay, so let me show you how to make it. You really just need 3 ingredients, unless you want your oils to add in there, and then 4 ingredients, or however many oils you want. You're gonna need the, like I said, the organic, cold pressed, it's less processed coconut oil. and it turns liquid very easily. So I think it's at 76 degrees, and that's we're probably like just right under that. In my house right now, we have the windows open. So we're kind of liquidy, half solid. And what you're gonna do, I'm gonna double the recipe that I have on my website. And if you want the recipe, it's in the title for this Facebook Live. So this is the one that I've tweaked to work for me and to work best. And then I'll tell you, or I'll answer all your questions about it, and I'll answer a lot of the questions that I've gotten over the years about it, because people get really nervous about all-natural deodorant for some reason. I'm here to tell you, this is good stuff. It's really good. It really works. I titled the blog post Highly Effective Natural Deodorant because it really is highly, highly effective. Okay. So this is 1 tablespoon. I'm going to double it. I'm going to make 8, and you can just kind of eyeball it. Yes, I'm going to use my fingers. So, and also if your coconut oil is solid, it might help if you warm it a little bit before you use it, because it's so much easier to mix when it's warmer. So there's 2. When I do this, I make like I do this with baking too. I do different piles. Like if I'm doing cups of something, I'll do different piles within my bowl, so I know if my phone rings or if I get distracted by something, I'll come back and I'll go, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 5. Do you ever do that? That happened to me one time, and I added, I think, like triple the amount of salt in something. It's not a good scene. It's not a good scene. So I had to throw away the whole thing. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so there's 8 tablespoons, and I kind of went heavy with the tablespoons. I didn't measure them exactly. Let me move that over. You can kind of see it's kind of liquid. I don't know, it's really bright in here. Kind of liquid. See, I'm backwards. I'm left and right. I can't tell. But it's very mixable. It's very mixable. Ah, that's a great tip about the pile. Hi, Rebecca. Hi. Yes, the piles. It saved me. How many things have I had to throw away from that? Let's see. Oh, baking soda. They make organic baking soda, and I've used it before. I just happen to have this one on hand. This one works just as well. And I don't even really know if it's a whole lot more beneficial to use organic baking soda. Not sure. Not sure. I'll have to look into that one. But I'm going to use, I'll shake it in here. I'll be kind of heavy with it because I was heavy with the oil. It's kind of heavy. I'm going to use 1/3 cup. Okay. And then the cornstarch. So this I know just from what I know about corn and GMO and all that kind of fun stuff. I like to use organic cornstarch. So this, I think I got this on Amazon maybe, or I think I've seen this brand. Can you see that, Rapunzel? In natural food stores, and I think Whole Foods may have it too. But and the price is not that bad, surprisingly. Okay, so let's get this out. And I kind of keep this and this and the oils kind of together in a kit in my cabinet, so that when I make deodorant, it's all together and I can grab it and go. Okay, let's see. You're also going to add the same amount of cornstarch as you did the baking soda. So I'll kind of go heavy with that too. And it doesn't have to be exact, but this is what works for me. And then one more thing I'll tell you about the oils. I don't sell essential oils. I'm not into that whole scene. I like them. I buy them, but I'm not pushing oils. I'm just telling you that these are the ones that I like. So my good friend sells them, but she sent me these cute little teeny tiny little samples to try. I love them. So this is lavender. This is by far my favorite. I've tried a couple different ones. Let's see, I've tried tea tree oil. That's more of like a gender neutral kind of, almost like a masculine type scent. Let's see, I've tried peppermint, and I've given this away to a lot of friends. And one of my friends requested peppermint, and I made it, sent it to her, gave it to her, and she sent me a text saying, oh my gosh, what did you put in this stuff? I'm all broken out. She apparently did not know she's allergic to peppermint. So I made her a fresh batch with no oils in it, and she was fine. It worked great. So it wasn't anything that was in the original batch of the recipe. It was just she didn't work well with peppermint. Okay, so I used lavender, I've used peppermint, I've used a whole bunch of different kinds of things. I've not tried lemon or citrus. I don't know what the other ones would be, like more of like the warmer type scents. I haven't really tried. Or what I do want to try is bergamot. I do want to try that because I love that smell. I love that scent. That's in my Earl Grey tea. Okay, so I'm going to just put like just a couple of drops, if it'll drop in there, of the lavender. It smells so good already. I'm already relaxed. Is the oil just for scent? Hey, that's a good question. I use it just for scents, but like I just said, I'm already relaxed. I love lavender. This stuff is amazing. I use it pretty much in everything. In our humidifiers in the winter, I stick some lavender in there. I even put it in my tea sometimes. I'm kind of funny about that. I need to relax. That's why I like all this lavender. Okay, so let me see. Everything's in the bowl, and I mix it with a fork just so that it can kind of get the oil all distributed in there really well. And then you can kind of see if you were heavy-handed with your oil like I was, then you can add some more of the cornstarch or the baking soda. Sometimes the baking soda, if you're really sensitive, it can kind of be maybe a little bit irritating in the beginning if you just start using all natural deodorant, if you're not used to it. And what I noticed when I first started using all natural deodorant 7 years ago, and by the way, I haven't had any complaints from anyone. No one said, Sarah, you stink. When I first started using it, I was really worried about it not working. I thought, I'm just going to waste money on more ingredients, and I'm just going to end up throwing this stuff away. But it works. It's really, 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 really works. Okay. And then, the one thing I do want to tell you about this magical creation in here, and I think my kids are home. I think I just heard them. The other thing I want to tell you about this is it's almost like Cinderella. You know how like when the clock strikes midnight and her carriage turns into a pumpkin and her dress turns back into rags? 24 hours. That's all you get. 24 hours with this stuff, and it works 100%, no stink, great stuff. 25 hours? Nope, it's over. It's not going to work. So you can reapply, but I've noticed for me, 24 hours is the golden time. It's my Cinderella deodorant hour. It'll be over. Okay. The other thing I was going to tell you is if you've never used all natural deodorant before and you just start using it, you may experience a little bit of an issue with your armpits, because if you've been using aluminum deodorant for years and years, like I did, and then you start using an all natural, what's going to happen is the aluminum that's all clogged in your pores is going to start to release over time, over like the first few days. And you might see a little bit of irritation in the beginning. I forgot about this because this was a really long time ago that this happened to me. It doesn't happen anymore. You'll see a little bit of irritation in the beginning, and you might even feel tingling in the beginning just because it's your pores releasing all of the gunk that's just been trapped in there with the aluminum. But but it only lasts for a short while, for a couple of days maybe. Some people, it might be too annoying and they go back to what they're used to, but for me, it was a no-brainer. I had to stick with the all-natural stuff, and I'm so glad I did because this stuff is great. The other thing I was gonna say, the odor factor, the deodor part, like I said, 24 hours, you're golden. The dryness factor, that can maybe sort of kind of be a problem if you sweat a lot. I don't sweat a whole bunch, and I haven't noticed a whole lot of problem, but the cornstarch is going to absorb a lot of the moisture. If you're sweating a lot, it's not going to absorb it all. It's all natural. It's not plugging in your pores. It's letting your pores sweat, which is good for you. So it's not 100% dry. If you want to stay 100% dry, then this isn't for you. You're probably going to need something with aluminum to keep your armpits plugged. Okay, so let me show you. I've got it all mixed. Let me show you what I do. I make double the amount because when I first started, I would make the amount that was on the blog, which was the 4 teaspoons, and it would last me about 6 months. 6 months. But now that my kids are not babies anymore, when they were when I first started making this, and they stink if they don't wear deodorant, I usually double the batch, and then I'll put some in their bathroom and some in our bathroom. But I'll show you how I do this. I will usually use like a small glass jar, something like this. I had, what did I have in here? I think this was maybe like bouillon cubes or something, but I like the glass jar. This is the perfect size, and this size will last me about 6 months. I use about like a pea-sized amount for under each arm, and I'll just put it in here and leave it in my bathroom. If my bathroom gets really, really warm, I just mix it around with my finger and it remixes again. This is for the kids. This is a reusable deodorant stick, and I'll just fill it up in there, and then I'll stick it in the fridge and it will get nice and solid for them. So if it's the winter months, I keep this in their bathroom. If it's the summer months, we keep their deodorant in the refrigerator. Yes, we do. I don't mind if mine melts, but since theirs is in a stick, I like it to stay nice and solid for them to apply. So then, let's see, I got a lot in there. I could probably, let's see, no, that's as far down as it's gonna go. Got a little bit more in there. And they're good to go. So here's for the kids. Oh, lavender is one of your faves. Yes, I'm obsessed with lavender. I didn't realize I was obsessed with lavender until the whole essential oil craze. It's good stuff. And then this used to be eye cream. This is empty now. But, gosh, this light is so bright. Can you see? I don't know if you can see. Okay, it used to be eye cream, and I use this for when I travel. Looks like I'm about to eat it, doesn't it, with a spoon? So I use this to travel, and this is just a little ceramic, you can hear, just a little ceramic jar, and I will leave this in the refrigerator, and then when I travel, I just to be on the safe side, not that this has ever happened before, but just to be on the safe side, I put this in a Ziploc bag before I put it in my toiletry bag, because you never know if it gets warm or I don't know. So that's the travel size. Let's see. Here's the kid one. Here's the travel one. And then I will fill the rest of one for me and my husband. And this will last 6 months. It's good stuff. Let me think, what else was I going to tell you about? All natural deodorant. Do you have any questions about it? I know one of the questions that I get a lot of the time is, you're putting oil on your clothes, aren't you? Are you getting oil stains on your clothes? I've never had an oil stain on my clothes. Never. In 7 years. This stuff, I'll show you. I use about the size of a pea. Okay, so I'll just swipe my finger in just like this, and it's just like I have makeup on my hand. That's great. It's just like a moisturizer. So you can put it on your armpit, rub it in under your arms, and then you can kind of see here, it just rubs all the way in just like moisturizer. And then my hands are kind of oily right here. So I take the rest of it and I just rub it in my skin, and then I smell like lavender. And I'm all fresh. But no, it's never greased my clothes or oiled my clothes. It's just like putting on a moisturizer and your skin absorbs it. So that's not a problem. Does it get chalky? Not really. Since there's a little bit of the baking soda, you feel a tiny bit of the tiny bit of baking soda in there, but it just kind of like falls off. I don't feel it under my armpits at all. I don't feel any chalkiness or anything. But remember, if you first start using it, you're gonna feel the beginning irritation if you've used nothing but aluminum deodorants for a long time. So I've used this. Hi, Linnea. Hi. I've used this for so long, and it's been great. And I knew that once my kids started to use deodorant, I wanted them to use the all-natural stuff too. But I will tell you, sometimes you will get wetness. You will have the wetness on your shirt. I mean, it's not like if you forget deodorant completely and you're drenched, but if you are a sweaty person, you will get a little bit of moisture going on under there. And some people, that's the deal breaker, and they don't want it. So, but for me, my deal breaker is aluminum. I can't mess around with aluminum. I'm telling you, I've tried three different recipes, and this is the one right here. And you can use whatever, let me see what else I had. Trying to think of the other questions I've had. I think I've answered a bunch of them. You want to use the cold pressed organic oil. Make sure you don't want to use the cooking oil. That's way more processed, and that kind of defeats the whole purpose. Hi Sherry, thanks for coming in. That kind of defeats the purpose. But we are talking about all natural deodorant, and I just made some for my kids. This is going to be theirs, and we're going to, I keep this in the refrigerator in the summertime because coconut oil is really funny at room temperature, but in the refrigerator they pull it right out. There is one thing with the refrigerator, with the cold deodorant. When they take it out of the fridge, I have them put it under their arm and just hold it there for 2 or 3 seconds to kind of warm up to their body, and then it'll apply easily. It's just like any other kind of solid. I hate to use this reference, but it's kind of like butter when when it is refrigerated. But please don't put butter under your arms. So this is for the kids, and then I have enough to make a 6-month supply for myself and my husband, and then I also make just a little, if I can open it, a little travel amount just for when I go on trips, and I don't want to bring the whole thing, but I do make sure to put this in a baggie just in case, because I don't want it to get all over my luggage. But anyway, that's all I was going to show you. I just finished making our deodorant, so I'll probably revisit this recipe in a couple of months. When I first started and it was just me, I would do it every 6 months. But now I have the rest of the family on board, so I'm making it more often. But I don't mind, because I'd rather use this than the aluminum stuff. And if you don't want to make your own, if you don't want to go through the hassle of buying massive quantities of coconut oil or mixing in the mess, if you don't want to go through all that, I have found 2 brands that I like that are all natural. They're pretty good. I'm impressed. Natural deodorant on the market has come a long way. So one of them is the Pit Paste, I got that on Amazon. One time we were getting ready to go on a trip and I did not have time to random phone calls. I didn't have the time to fuss with making the deodorant, so I just ordered the pit paste, and I was really happy with the ingredients, and I was really happy with how well it worked. That was really good. And then another one is Smiley Pits, and I met the woman who makes Smiley Pits in Whole Foods, and she's amazing. Her and her kids and her business partner came up with Smiley Pits, and they have a lot of the same ingredients in their deodorant, and I was really happy with it. And her kids named all of the different deodorants that they made, so they have cute little names. So it's Pit Paste and Smiley Pits are two brands that I would recommend if you don't want to go through the trouble of making your own. But if you do want to go through the trouble of making your own, it's really, really easy. And all you need is 3 ingredients and possibly a refrigerator. And that's about it. So thank you for joining. And if you want the recipe, it's in the title up here. Okay, bye guys.